Welcome to tonight's edition of Hope TV Newswatch. Glad you could make time for us tonight. My name is Melisa Oduor. Our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murray. The Newswatch begins now. A multi-agency police unit has raided the current home of former Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiangi in what it calls ongoing investigations surrounding the allegations of the February 8th raid of the home. The officers are said to have obtained a search order to obtain CCTV camera recordings from Matiangi's home to establish the facts surrounding last week's alleged raid. Making the revelation, the Director of Criminal Investigations, Mohammed Amin, in a statement said that once investigations are complete, they will take action on any officer from any security agency involved in what he termed as unauthorized activities, or if any false information was knowingly disseminated to the public. However, Matiangi's lawyers, led by Danstan Omari, have said that the police had forcefully gained access to the house and did not have such orders. This as earlier today, Milimani Court Magistrate Wandi Anyamu declined to issue orders compelling the former CS to provide the DCI with access to the CCTV footage from his home. Now, President William Ruto has affirmed the government's commitment to enhancing quality access to healthcare services for all Kenyans. Speaking during the official opening of the AAR hospital in Kiambu Road, Nairobi County, President Ruto stated that the government will refine and repackage incentives to attract more healthcare providers in the country, adding that such a facilitative framework will enhance general well-being. He added that the government will work towards reducing the cost of medicine and medical commodities. The Level 5 General Hospital, with 140 beds, offers both inpatient and outpatient services.
My team is working with the Ministry of Health to make sure that we have an essential package for every condition and for every item that we need in that space. And in the next coming days, we will be informing the public on which direction we are going, because universal health care is a must deliver this time round. The government is also taking substantial measures to ensure that education and training provides the skills and professional capacity required to run a globally competitive healthcare sector.
To education matters now, the Ministry of Education has raised concern that more than 200,000 learners have failed to be admitted into junior secondary schools. The learners are supposed to be in their third week of the junior secondary following the start of learning on the 30th of January. And as Gloria Musimbi reports, Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu has vowed to lead efforts by the ministry to investigate why the students have not been admitted.
Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Machogu today held a meeting with principals of technical and vocational education and training TVET institutions across the country at the Kenya School of TVET. CS Machogu raised concerns that more than 200,000 learners have failed to be admitted for grade 7, stating that the ministry is working with the chiefs to locate the learners, even as he confirmed Form 1 transition has been running smoothly.
There are 201,000 students who have not been able to register in any of the junior secondary schools, and that's why we are now applying a multi-agency approach, where we are requesting the chiefs and assistant chiefs, the Interior Ministry, to assist each other with my officers on the ground to make sure that each and every child gets into a junior secondary school.
Machogu advised TVET institutions to ensure that 80% of the courses should be technical, adding that 20% of business courses should be offered. He also encouraged students that did not reach the required grade to join university to enroll in TVET institutions.
It is optional. One can be able to realize the importance of TVET in institutions and the technical skills that he or she is going to acquire, and opt to go into a diploma course in one of the TVET institutions. We are encouraging an institution to have at least 80% technical and probably about 20% business courses.
The CS revealed that his ministry has engaged with Canadian and Hungarian ambassadors for partnerships in training in international institutions so that certified learners from TVETs can acquire trainings of international standards.
When I engaged with the ambassador of Canada last week, we had a meeting with the ambassador of Hungary is on a dual certification. How do we make our students to get to international standards? And that's where I want each and every one of you. What is it we are lacking? How can we improve so that the certificates we are making and giving out meet the international standards?
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Gloria Musimbi.
Former Defense Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa has been unveiled as the new Democratic Action Party DAP Kenya leader to effectively take over from Wafula Wamunyinyi, who has been at the helm of the party since December 2021. The reorganization of the party follows a resolution by the party's National Executive Council and parliamentary group meeting held today. Speaking during the meeting, the outgoing party leader Wamunyinyi stated that the party remains part of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, adding that they will work with like-minded parties in the coalition in pursuit of a better multi-party environment in the country. Our very own Kennedy Kimani with more on that story.
The Democratic Action Party Kenya has unveiled former Defense Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa as its new party leader. The reorganization of the party follows a resolution by the party's National Executive Council, which will see Wafula Wamunyinyi deputize Wamalwa. The changes come at the backdrop of what many in the political circles opine are efforts by President William Ruto to weaken the opposition.
Tumeangalia, tumefanya review yale ambayo tumepitia kama chama, na tukaamua kupanga namna tutaenda mbele kama chama. Ndio tukawa na reorganization ambayo ilianzishwa na management pamoja na NEC ambayo ilifanyika previously. So leo NEC ya leo imeapprove na kuweka utekelezaji, implementation of the resolutions ya restructuring.
Sababu ya ofisi yangu sikuweza kirasmi kujiunga nanyi na kuwa member, kwa hivyo mlinipa title mbili, kuwa your patron and a friend of DAP. Leo nina furaha sana ya kwamba nikubali niwe kirasmi mwanachama wa DAP, lakini pia kiongozi wa chama cha DAP na presidential candidate wenu wa DAP.
Speaking during the meeting held at the party's headquarters in Milimani, Nairobi County, Siaya Governor James Orengo hit out at President William Ruto for win members of the opposition parties into the Kenya Kwanza fold.
Kenya is a multi-party democratic state. That is the principle which is enunciated in the Constitution of Kenya. Today, the president is acting as if that principle was just there for cosmetics because it's killing political parties. That is the fact of the moment, that President Ruto is killing political parties. And is invading every party. I think DAP has done better than all the parties because, you know, he has even invaded the political party called ODM, where I belong. But I want to encourage you that, and your members of parliament, I want to encourage you. It comes to moments that it does not matter how many members of parliament you have.
The party leadership has maintained that DAP-K is still part of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, whose de facto leader is Raila Odinga. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
And Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga has held a meeting with party senators even as he continues to demand loyalty from his coalition members. Addressing the press, Raila announced a new leadership lineup in the Senate led by Kilifi Senator Stewart Mwadzayo and urged them to ably articulate issues affecting Kenyans such as electoral injustice. Now, Raila has meanwhile rubbished the national prayers called by President William Ruto yesterday, saying electoral justice must be defended. He instead announced that the Azimio coalition will next week hold prayers for the Electoral Commission IEBC at the Anniversary Tower headquarters. This as the coalition will hold rallies in Kisii and Kisumu this weekend. Last story takes us to our first short break here on Hope TV. Keep it here for more news items, including tonight's special story on Walter Momanyi's journey with epilepsy. You don't want to miss that story.
This week on Testify.
No, there's nothing like salvation, and if I hear that word from your mouth again, I will beat you into pulp. Do not even tell me about salvation. So I went and told my friends, I'm sorry, I can't add this God to my list. My mom has discarded this God. I told God, now here I am, Matatu, they're on a strike. How am I getting to Githurai? Imagine someone just came with the car and said, the Lord told me to give you a lift to wherever you're going.
Oh.
Huh? Okay. And I got scared.
Hope TV. Look and live.
Expect the unexpected on the Stars Show.
It's forever enough, always enough.
Anything goes from singing, dance to gymnastics to mind-blowing art. All you need is a skill and a star quality.
I'm 5 levels and I'm a skater.
Make sure it is very straight and clean.
Just remember to join us every Saturday with me, your host, Tamika Arnett.
Every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Spotlight.
Do you feel like they are in a place where they can effect a Barack Obama moment?
When you hear the word of God and you hear Jesus is speaking.
Real talk on real issues.
You know the Bible says faith without works is dead.
The truth of the gospel that will survive the time is not a health and wealth gospel.
When there is time to harmonize and bring one composite amendment.
With idealistic, thought-provoking guests.
So people come to be serviced, to be encouraged, to be empowered.
When the storm is over, you desire the closeness you have with God.
Hosted by Reverend Edward Furi.
Welcome back. Now, community health workers in Naivasha have decried the rising cases of gender-based violence and sexual abuse in the last couple of months. They identified informal settlements around the town as the most affected, with the ongoing financial crunch and mental illness blamed for the cases. This was a situation when the workers visited Naivasha Sub-County Hospital, where some of the abuse victims have been undergoing treatment. According to John Kenodia from the Naivasha Gender Cluster Group, at least 4 cases of abuse are recorded in the town every week. He noted that many of the victims did not know their rights, with the cases being resolved out of court despite nursing serious injuries. Speaking after the visit, he said that they were working closely with the hospital and health workers in identifying and reporting the cases.
Kitu ambacho kimekuwa changamoto in those cases zenye wanga tunapata, watu wengi hawajui ya kwamba mambo na gender based violence, mostly sexual violence, ni criminal.
Kwa community utapata kuna mgonjwa, watu wametuelewa, wanatupatia wagonjwa, and expect akikupatia mgonjwa huyo atatibiwa, mgonjwa huyo atapata dawa, mgonjwa huyo atapigwa picha, lakini hakuelewi wewe CHV hauna hiyo pesa yote. Kwa hivyo inabidi ukuje hapa, ujiongee hospitali, waweze kukubali ndio mgonjwa huyu aweze kufanya. Kwa hivyo kuna challenges kama hiyo. Transport, mambo zingine unaitwa usiku, mchana, chukua motorbike.
Ya kijinsia imeinuka kwa hali juu kiasi
japo kuwa tunaizungumzia kwa sababu unaona ya kwamba familia ikiwa na mgonjwa ambaye ako na chronic disease, tuseme kama cancer, diabetes na blood pressure, unapata ya kwamba ile familia kwa sababu ya yale matoleo pengine hawajajimudu kimaisha, unapata ya kwamba kwa njia moja the GBV ama dhuluma ya kijinsia inaingia kwa boma.
A coast-based environmentalist, Dr. Edwin Mwinga Chokwe, has raised concerns after a private developer illegally cut down trees along the Machakos-Liwatoni Road. The vocal environmentalist staged an on-site protest against the private developer's alleged inaction for illegally cutting down 20 indigenous trees planted on a pedestrian walk as encroached an erected concrete wall. The developer, who has leased a go-down belonging to the old Kenya Railway Station in Mombasa, is alleged to have cut down the trees without the approval of the Kenya Forestry Services, NEMA, and the Mombasa County government. Mwinga, who also chairs the Clean Mombasa CBO, said the indigenous trees were planted over 20 years ago by Juakali workers and food vendors along the industrial area to protect them from the extreme heat in Mombasa.
Leo wamekata miti ambayo sasa imekomaa. Ni miti ambayo inaleta kivuli, ni miti ambayo inachangia mambo ya mazingira, ni miti ambayo inachukua miaka, kama hii miti waliokata ni ya miaka zaidi 20. Kuna watu wanafanya kazi hapo kwenye hivyo vibanda ambao pia ni mazingira yao. Kuna ndege na nini ambazo sasa zimekuwa katika hali tabani. Na yeye amekuja kujenga ukuta kwenye road reserve. Maana hapa anapojenga sio mahali pake.
Mimi nimekaa hapa for more than 35 years hapa Juakali. Na hizi miti baadhi yake mimi ni mpandaji wake. Nimesikia uchungu sana, nimezunguka sana, nimefanya juu chini mpaka nimeenda paka kwa anti-corruption, kwa maana alivyoshikwa huyu contractor akapelekwa kule, alirudi akaanza tena kufanya mambo yake. Nimeenda tena kwa anti-corruption, hata sasa hivi natoka huko kwamba ni kwa nini huyu alienda kule, alifanya nini. Anti-corruption ameniambia niende kwa county na nimeshindwa. Vile nimepata daktari ananisaidia hivi, naomba ikiwa hii miti Ruto ndio ameruhusu ama ni serikali imeruhusu ama ni county, tujue aliruhusu kwa lengo gani na atapanda vipi hii miti irudi.
Now to our feature story now. Epilepsy is one of the most common chronic neurological disorders and is an important public health problem affecting close to 70 million people worldwide. Research in Kenya rates birth trauma, infections of the brain, and head injuries as the top causes. Other risk factors include a family history of seizures. The severity of symptoms depend on which part of the brain is affected. Now, the seizures can present as visible fits or convulsions, muscle contractions, odd stares, impaired awareness or confusion, and behavior like lip smacking, cycling movements, or moaning. Faith Imani Mugo met with Walter Momanyi, a survivor, as compiled on this story.
According to a study conducted in rural Kenya and other African countries, half of the 2,170 people with active convulsive epilepsy were children, and 69% of seizures began in childhood. Other studies found that the prevalence of epilepsy in African countries is about 20 cases in every 1,000 people. About 77 new cases in every 100 people are diagnosed every year. Walter, now in his 30s, was diagnosed at a tender age. Here's his story.
I've been known to be epileptic. Since I was small, and I thank God because he has for all that time, I'm good even right now.
Walter narrates it has not been easy to grow up and go to school with the problem.
In primary school, people even knowing that you normally fall down. They don't want to be associated with you, yeah? You know, and most of the attacks came when I was in school because of the stress. Unaambiwa, hey, angalia nani yako, mimi sitaki kuwa rafiki yake, anaweza nini. And in that stress inakufanya yani kidogo tu hivi unaanguka.
Walter says life took another turn when he lost his mother 10 years ago, who was always there for him.
My mom was there. He understood each and everything. It was not that bad. I couldn't have many attacks.
The burden of bringing up his siblings was different story, with the burden of having to live with the condition.
Kwa stress ingine, I'm the firstborn, I'm the one taking care of the children. You don't have any job. You just have to take care of the children. They go to school. Wengine walikuwa primary na wengine walikuwa ndio high school, about to finish high school. Mimi nilikuwa nimeshamaliza.
A time came when the siblings were of age and slowly moved out to start their own families, leaving him alone to fight with the disease. However, by the time his siblings left, he had already learned how to self-attend when he feels he is about to experience seizures.
Nikisikia hiyo dizziness, the first thing, just lie down like 5 minutes and it will just go.
The biggest challenge has, however, been the access of the seizure drugs that he needs to take on daily basis to manage the situation.
These are some of the medication.
He has a small business of hiring out equipment which he survives on, and he has no other livelihood.
Staying here, it's not easy. Getting food, getting ile nguo napata haijakuwa easy.
Walter narrates it's been by God's grace that he has survived many attacks, and many times he got help from strangers who took him to hospital in good time.
I thank God because he has come through yani kila time. I stay with the neighbors who we stay like brothers and sisters. When something happens, they will always come to me. They will always come and help.
He now calls on caregivers of epileptic patients to learn the simple first aids to enable them handle the patients better.
The first thing, usimshike, wacha tu, atingike, alafu, atingike kwanza, ajafika chini kwanza, tafuta something, something soft, ndio saa zile anaanguka, anaangukia hiyo something small.
He says one can live with the condition as it is not a death sentence. One just needs to know how to handle it.
You can handle epileptic. So even when I'm taking even drugs, sometimes I even handle epileptic to an extent of even how. Sometimes I even I stay even for 6 months. And when hata ikikuja, I can feel it.
Faith Imani Mugo for Hope TV Newswatch.
This week on Testify.
No, there's nothing like salvation, and if I hear that word from your mouth again, I will beat you into pulp. Do not even tell me about salvation. So I went and told my friends, I'm sorry, I can't add this God to my list. My mom has discarded this God. I told God, now here I am, Matatu, they're on a strike. How am I getting to Githurai? Imagine someone just came with a car and said, the Lord told me to give you a lift to wherever you're going.
Oh.
Huh? And I got scared.
Hope TV. Look and live.
Expect the unexpected on the Stars Show.
It's forever enough, always enough.
Anything goes from singing, dance to gymnastics to mind-blowing art. All you need is a skill and a star quality.
I'm 5 levels in the masqueta.
Make sure it is very straight and clean.
Just remember to join us every Saturday with me, your host, Tamika Arnett.
A look at business now. Siaya County government has acquired 7 additional tractors to enable local residents to till their land at subsidized rates. Speaking during the flagging off of the tractors, Siaya Governor James Orengo said that his government spent 31 million shillings to acquire the tractors together with 10 plows. He added that the tractors will be available to the locals at a cost of 2,000 shillings per acre, adding that those who hire them will further benefit from free certified seeds from the county government. Orengo, who was flanked by his deputy William Oduor, said that his government was committed to boosting agricultural production in the county, adding that plans are underway to acquire a further 30 tractors for the same purpose.
We repaired some tractors which were already in the custody of the of Siaya County government, belong to Siaya County government. And we decided through the parliamentary, through the county assembly, by way of a supplementary budget, to get money to be able to buy more tractors. And although we had hoped to buy 10 additional tractors and 10 plows, the status of the economy and the shilling losing value in relation to the dollar, the money that we got through the county assembly and in the supplementary budget could only provide 7 tractors and I think 10 plows, if I'm right. We are in the process of trying to acquire another 20 tractors through the same suppliers in time for this plowing season. That we encourage our people to hire these tractors as a subsidized rate of 2,000 shillings an acre. And if you use our tractors for 2,000 shillings an acre or more, you'll get an equivalent amount of seeds free of charge. We are giving seeds free of charge. It's not happening anywhere in the country where seeds are being given free of charge.
I&M Bank has announced a waiver of transaction charges from its digital banking platform I&M On The Go to mobile money wallets. The waiver effectively makes I&M Bank the first lender in Kenya to officially offer zero fees for bank to M-Pesa and Airtel Money transactions following its reintroduction by the Central Bank of Kenya on the 30th of January this year, with plans underway to include T-Cash transactions for telecom users. Speaking during the press conference, I&M's General Manager for Digital Business, Michael Matiangi, stated that as part of their approach to service delivery, recent customer feedback showed that as much as the transaction rates are favorable, there was an opportunity to review their policies on bank to mobile money wallet charges for the digitally active customer.
We are living through very tough times, characterized by high inflation, concerns about job security, and drought as well. Based on the feedback that we have received from our customers, we are making the bold decision that we as I&M Bank, effective 15th of February, are going to be waiving all charges on bank to M-Pesa and bank to Airtel Money transfers.
To some sports now, Z-Tech Sparks forward Christine Akinyi was the star of the show, pulling a double-double for Kenya Lionesses in their FIBA Africa Zone 5 Women's Afrobasket Qualifiers opener against host Uganda Gazelle last night. Christine, who was on the floor for 18 minutes and 41 seconds overall, made her mark with 14 points and 12 rebounds, a stunning performance that saw Kenya go on to win the match 53-61 for a perfect start to their title defense. Kenya is looking to defend the title they won in the 2021 edition of the Zone 5 qualifiers for a maiden title and qualify for yet another appearance at the Continental Championship set for later in the year. And the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya has sanctioned athlete Jacqueline Wamboi for a period of 2 years for a doping violation. In a communication made this afternoon, the Sports Dispute Tribunal approved Wamboi's suspension for the presence of a prohibited substance found in her test samples conducted in September 2021. The world 800 meters under 18 gold medalist in Nairobi will subsequently have her ban end in December this year. Wamboi, who is 23 years old and a winner of the 800 meters Kenya trials in 2019, also missed the 2019 World Championships in Doha after failing to take mandatory testosterone level tests required for athletes in regards to the gender doping rules approved by IAAF. And that's how we wrap up Newswatch tonight. I have been your presenter, Melisa Oduor. Thank you for keeping me company. Boniface Mureithi has been on the sign language tonight. Have a restful night.